Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to look at how to use HubSpot to do more B2B sales with the limited time that you actually have, the limited energy that you have as a salesperson, and without wasting any time. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So today we're going to look at a framework that I'm using within HubSpot. We're going to look at what is the main challenges, what is like the challenge that I see people using HubSpot, that they are not utilizing HubSpot well enough. Okay, so what we're going to look at today is my framework, which I call the Sales Cyborg, and how we can use LinkedIn actually also together with HubSpot if you're using LinkedIn to engage with leads, to follow up with leads, and to actually close more deals every month. Then there's a really, really good use case and a nice synergy that we can use, where we can use LinkedIn with HubSpot to keep track of all our leads. Firstly, let's have a chat about who is this for and why should you even care? Why is this video maybe important, or what could you gain from this? So the thinking I have within B2B sales is that there's some two truths here that we need to acknowledge, and that most salespeople do acknowledge as well. So volume equals sales, and following up equals sales. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that volume, that means like how many leads are you engaging with at a time, how many deals do you have in your pipeline, and how much you can say disturbance are you making in your pond to make sure that you engage with leads and that you sell to people and that they know about you, to eventually close some more deals, right? Because the problem is that usually in B2B sales you have medium to longer sales cycles, right? So here you start engaging with a lead, a cold lead, some stranger to you, and they need time before they're ready to do the purchase. Like maybe they need to get to know you, maybe they don't have the budget right now, maybe they say, hey man, it's going to be relevant in 3 months. So you need to have a lot of volume, right? A lot of these processes started to make sure that every month that you have some deals that you can close. And then the next thing is like, okay, how are you actually going to make sure that you stay top of mind in this medium to longer sales cycle? Well, it's a lot with following up, right? So the statistics are saying that I think it's like 48% of salespeople only do one follow-up, right? That is insane. So that means if you just do 2 follow-ups, okay, sorry for my bad Miro texting here. If you just do 2 follow-ups, well, then you are better than over or almost 50% of salespeople in the world. So you need to do follow-ups, and there's also statistics saying that it's usually as on the 6th follow-up actually that most leads convert. So that's just some food for thought. That is why I'm saying that these are the 2 B2B sales truths that, well, I at least see. If you cut it down, if you are the worst salesperson in the world, right? But you still manage to have a lot of volume in your sales, and you follow up with them. And of course, you're not being annoying. You're just being a normal person, like let's say an average Joe salesperson, nothing fancy, and you just get these 2 things right. Do you believe yourself that you would sell a lot more? The answer is usually yes. So what are the 2 challenges that there are to actually gain volume and to gain follow-ups? Well, the things that I see is that it's a lot of manual, time-consuming work. You need to engage with leads, right? You need to talk with them, you need to call them, you need to email them, you need to do your LinkedIn posting, write on LinkedIn, message on LinkedIn. And that is not a problem once you have, like, let's say 30 to 50 leads at a time. You know, you can kind of handle it, but it's gonna be more time-consuming the more leads you have, of course. That makes sense, right? And then it's also going to be more time consuming because then you have to follow up with each of the leads that you engage with. So that's one of the problems. And that leads us over to the lack of overview right here. It's very hard to keep an overview of all the leads that you're actually working right now when you have so many. So that means there's a natural like barrier or loft to how many you can engage with at a time without tanking your own performance. And at some point, you're going to start tanking upon, meaning that you're going to forget about leads, you're going to forget about following up with a lot of the leads, and then you're going to start thinking, why do I even engage with more leads right now? Like maybe I should just cut down because then I can do a good job with each of the leads that I'm trying to work right now, instead of trying to up my volume and then starting to forget about leads, and then the resources I spent on like a larger volume of leads is gonna be wasted because I'm not really doing a good job. So that's one of them. And of course, usually to really gain volume, you need to have structure, right? You need to have a game plan. So you need to spend a lot of, what you can say, logical brain power. You need to spend less creative brain power to really do a good job on these. Like, it should be like you just take your brain out, put it in your closet, and then you're just a machine doing the work. Once you need to use your creative energy to do these things and reinvent the deep plate every time, well, then it's not going to work out. You're going to spend too much manual and time-consuming energy, time on it. So you need a structure, you need a game plan to actually really fulfill this. And just by having a really good structure, like, and a really good game plan for how to engage with leads, when do I follow up, and how do I make sure to not forget any one of these, like, that could all be manual. And then you would right there at least see an increase in your sales, probably because you start to engage with more leads. But you can also have structure, and then once you have structure, you can start systemizing things. And once you start systemizing things, you can start automating a lot of the work that you're doing, like, you can say almost automatically manual anyways, like copy a different template into sending emails, sending messages maybe. You can start then working with automations, and then you will really see a huge increase in your volume you can handle, and in the follow-up that you can do without forgetting a single lead. This is gonna be interesting for people who like to use LinkedIn as well, and who is using HubSpot, or at least want to use HubSpot, or would just like to have more overview or more systemized approach to your B2B sales processes. Well, then this is gonna be for you. So what I'm gonna show you here is what I call the Sales Cyborg LinkedIn Accelerator. This is how I am doing my outreach here and incorporate LinkedIn, because you need to be on more platforms than just email and phone and texting. You need to also start using LinkedIn because it's one of the fastest growing, business networks out there. Briefly, we're using LinkedIn here together with the HubSpot CM. And one of the main problems we're trying to solve with this is that once you start using a platform like LinkedIn and you start engaging with contacts, you start messaging, well, then it's going to be hard to actually maybe keep an overview of which leads on LinkedIn am I actually texting right now. Do I need to send a follow-up message? So one good example is you have a lead, you texted, they responded, you texted them back, and now they haven't responded for 2 or 3 days. That message is going to be in the bottom of your inbox on LinkedIn. So you have to remember, there's no like ping pong notification, whatever, telling you that it's been 2 days since you answered this contact. So you need to keep track of this somehow. Maybe they're writing it down in some Excel sheet on a sticky note or whatever, but it's a mess. I have found a way here now to have the HubSpot CM help us actually keep track of that totally automatically, so you don't have to use any brain power to keep track of which leads do I now need to follow up with that haven't responded in a few days maybe. So what's going to happen is here, we have LinkedIn. You engage with your leads through some filters, Sales Navigator, whatever. You find your target ICP on LinkedIn. Then you, of course, want to start connecting with these leads. And then after they connected, you want to start messaging them to see if you can engage and maybe get them interested in having a talk with you. They connect with you, and then if they accept the message, we can actually pull them over into our HubSpot CRM, create the contact here. So it's only the connections that are accepted that we want to put into our CRM system. And the good thing about this is that we can also synchronize LinkedIn messages into our CRM. So that means you can look at a contact within HubSpot, and then you can see a timeline of the activities, and then you can see all the messages that you sent and that they sent to you. So you have that overview within your CRM system, right? Once they reply, we can also track that within our HubSpot CRM. So we can sit within our CRM system and keep track of everything. So again, simplifying things, dumbing things down, so we don't need to use our creative juices up here to keep track of our sales. Let's say they reply now to a message that you sent. Well, then we track that and we can create a task that you need to now respond to them, or maybe you can keep track of that yourself, but we can have that in a contact view. So again, the overview right here, this is just an example from my own. I have all these contacts here, and then I have like a contact view that's showing me all the LinkedIn received messages. And then I can see here, by the way, I'm using a LinkedIn tool called DocSoup, which has a great integration with HubSpot. So I can see here when I have received the latest LinkedIn message from my contacts. And even more interesting is the next one. So if there's no message, let's say after 2 days, then I can also create a task to now remember to follow up with them again. Usually people, they want to respond, they're just busy. So it's not that they don't want to talk with you, it's just that they have so much other stuff going on in their life. They just quickly opened your message 2 days ago and then they were like, okay, I'm gonna answer that later. Something got in the way. So we create a task, maybe you can automate it, that now you need to respond. And also you have a contact view where you can see, okay, where I've sent a LinkedIn message 2 days ago, but they haven't responded yet. So that could be something like this as well. You have all your contacts that haven't responded back within 2 days. And you can see when was the last date of me sending a message to them. And now I can just go into the contact, clicking right here on the name, going into the contact view on LinkedIn, and actually send my LinkedIn message directly from HubSpot if I want, or go straight to the conversation. There's a link in HubSpot to my direct message with them, and then I can make sure to do the follow-up here. I can have my task as well in this view over here. You can see that I have some task within or on the contact here. It says like reach out again, or follow up on email, or now send a pitch to get the meeting. Just a great overview within one place within my CRM system, even though I'm doing outreach on LinkedIn or other places. And I also have some other options here, right? I can have like a whole template built out, you can say, for LinkedIn. Like once people, they show interest, it's usually the same things, maybe that you need to ask them some qualifying questions, you want to send them some materials, or you want to get some information that usually is relevant for a prospect that has shown interest in what you're communicating with them. So you can have like a whole template system of this is the message I can just copy paste quickly and use to free up your time. And you can do the same with HubSpot as well. So let's say you have the contacts, maybe you have their email, maybe you have their phone, then you can enroll them in some kind of a warm follow-up sequence as well. This can actually even be automated. You can also just do it manually if you want to have a very personal approach with these people. So then you can start engaging with them on LinkedIn, on email, making sure that you call them sometimes when it's relevant, and all these platforms can work together. Now I want to show you the framework that you can use to book meetings here. So we start from up here, where they accept our LinkedIn request, sending them an initial direct message on LinkedIn, asking them questions, seeing if they might be interested in what you have to talk about, what you have to offer. And if they don't respond, you can also maybe follow up once, maybe twice, but not too much. But it's just in case that they just saw your message, it is relevant, and they just forgot to get back to you. So let's say they would now reply here on one of these messages. Well, then you, of course, respond manually to whatever the reply was. And then again, you have the thing like, if it's been 2 days now since they haven't answered from my last response, well, then we can go into a framework of following up a few times. Like you can do it as many times as you want, but of course make sure that you're not bothering people. And as soon as they say no, you should of course stop doing it. But this is just in case that people are busy and they actually do want to talk to you. You are interesting to them, and you're just doing a service of reminding them that you are there. So it's all about staying, top of mind. That was a great T right there, with all this. And you can do this from LinkedIn. Right, this is this sequence right here, for example, where these ones would maybe be more long term. So after 3 weeks, after 3 months, you still like just check in with them. And this one over here would be from HubSpot, where you can leverage emailing, phone calling. So you can have email sent, another email a few days later or something like that, then create a task that now you should probably call them or leave a voicemail. You can maybe even send them a text message and send an email again, another call, another task to SMS. And all of this, like there's possibilities to automate it, which would be great if it's usually the same things and you don't need a personal approach. Again, I would recommend you to really think hard about what you automate, because it can be a great leverage for you to use, because you can really leverage your time a lot better. But make sure that you give something valuable in the automations, and it's something that you would have done manually anyways. And if there's an answer on any of these sequences, if you automate it, well, it will break the sequence. You will take over manually, and you wouldn't sound like a robot sending a next message even when they said, yeah, man, I'm ready to meet. And then you send a follow-up message saying something like, oh, so are you ready for that meeting? Something stupid like that. But what this framework can help you with is, of course, all of these points is action points that can help you to book a meeting with a prospect. So let's say usually a lot of salespeople, right? What they do is they send an initial DM and then they give up. So that's the 48% of salespeople. They send one follow-up message maybe. So let's say maybe they do this, right? 48% in the world, they do that. So they have 2 points of action that could create a leverage meeting for you. But now with this, you have, I don't know, all of these lines here is a point where you could leverage to book a meeting with a prospect. By doing this, you would probably be in the top percentile of salespeople in the world because you're not following up once or twice. You're actually doing a lot of follow-ups and you're doing it from different platforms because maybe people are not on LinkedIn. Maybe they respond to emails. Maybe they only want to talk with you on the phone. Maybe they see an SMS and nothing else. So you're leveraging all the points here to make sure that you have done everything that you could do to see if you could book a meeting with a prospect. What you do end up getting here is that you have volume and you have follow-ups. So those are the 2 things that you actually get around by having a structure like a HubSpot and CM and leverage other platforms like LinkedIn as well, and having some of that really structured. So another thing I just want to quickly show you from within HubSpot, if you aren't aware of it, you have your tasks here. That is really great. You can put tasks and contacts or companies or whatnot, and then you have an overview here of all the tasks you need to do, and it helps you filter out the ones that you need to do today. You can see what you need to do, like that is overdue, you needed to do before again. So this is really good when you have tasks in a system like HubSpot. So instead of you just putting in a calendar event to make sure you remember to follow up, or you put it on a yellow sticky note, or you put it in an Excel sheet or something like that, it wouldn't give you a notification or highlight something in red if you didn't do it, right? So HubSpot will do that. So you can go and see what is overdue. So you make sure that no leads are forgotten ever, right? If you put a task on them, you will never forget about it. So, but the great thing I want to show about this is you can see all your tasks here. So this is just a quick overview, but what is really powerful is that then I click on this button over here, start 8 tasks, and then it takes me to the exact contact or company where the task is, so I can immediately start doing my follow-up here if I do it manually, right? So I clicked on start the task. So the first one, I go into a contact view of the contact. I can see the task up in the top here, and it says, okay, follow up, that was the name of the task. Okay, fine. I know myself that it's email, so I click on the email. It opens up an email here. I kind of already formulated something. Want to get to something like that, and then you can click on this, send, and complete the task. So when I send this email, it also automatically logs that now I've completed the task, so the task will be removed. It will be like, thumbs up, it's done. I can also immediately click on this, and that will create a to-do task to follow up again in 3 business days. And I can quickly just say, no, it needs to be in 3 months, it needs to be a custom date. And I can also schedule it to be sent later in the day. If I know that this prospect is going to see it at 12 o'clock, and right now it's 10 o'clock, I can send it later. So send and complete the task. That is pretty powerful. I can skip this, or I can if I complete it on the top, it will just take me immediately to the next one. Tiffy Rogers. Okay, let's just say complete, next, complete, because now you kind of got the idea, right? Yes, all right. So here I have a task, and this is a type of follow-up call. So now I know I need to call the prospect here. So again, I just click on the phone call. Okay, now I can show you because I haven't linked on my phone. This is my testing account. So just to show you on my own account where I have my phone, of course, synchronized with HubSpot here. Then I can go to contact and just click on this call here, and I can call from my own number. So now I have a phone number to contact. I can click on the call, and then it starts dialing here directly from within my CM system. I can even record the call. I can mute myself. I can take calls. Was a great call, something like that. And then I can hang up, and then I can save the call, right? I can also create a follow-up task right here to make sure I call back. Let's say I have a follow-up call. I know I just talked to Matthew Bilham, so I should just reschedule this to be within the next 3 business days or in 2 weeks instead of right now, and then I progress to it. So you can see how fast you can manually go through your follow-up task if you want to do a lot of this stuff manually, right? It can be so fast. You can also do a task where it says follow up on LinkedIn, which you can also have like automatically made whenever you can track that now they haven't responded to you in 2 days. We'll then have a task created for you that you should now follow up with them on LinkedIn. And the cool thing about having the HubSpot integration here with LinkedIn, so again, it's not the native HubSpot integration, it's a tool called duck's soup, but it has a great integration with HubSpot. So when I go to the contact over at the right side, if I have the LinkedIn profile attached to it, it gives me these LinkedIn features or actions I can do. So I can enroll them into a campaign, like if it's an automated campaign, I can send a connection request, I can update their HubSpot contact information from the information that we can find from LinkedIn, and we can even send a message directly from the CRM system. So you can go to the task, as I showed you before, you get to this contact, it says, now you need to follow up on LinkedIn. You just scroll down here, click on this, and then you can click OK, and this will send a message from HubSpot on LinkedIn to this context. You don't even need to go to LinkedIn if you don't want to. So again, just being super fast about it. So, within 10 minutes, 30 minutes every day, you can really crunch through a lot of leads in this way. All right, I hope this made a lot of sense. I hope it really helped you out if you are struggling with making sure you have enough volume in your B2B sales, that you're having a hard time maybe really engaging with all the leads that you want to engage with to create more sales, and make sure that you always have a super filled pipeline that's just filled to the brim with a lot of opportunities. So you know that each month some opportunity is going to close a deal with you, and you make sure you hit your targets, and you also make sure that you scale the business to the point that you want to scale it to. And as well as doing your follow-ups systematically, having a game plan for it, making it super simple, not using any of this energy on keeping track of all these things. So you can just go into one place, have that overview, and make sure and feel a guarantee that you are getting around to all the contacts and the leads that you need to get around to close more deals. Anyways, if this was helpful, I hope that you would consider maybe subscribing to this channel, giving a like. You can also make a comment if you have any questions. But again, I'm not looking for any handouts here. It's only if it is valuable for you, you can consider subscribing to the channel. If you like to see whenever a new video comes out, you can also hit that notification bell, and then you will get notified whenever a new video gets out. But I wish you a great day. Bye.